give Ron and I a call. NU6F with a pause, K0DWC.
Well, good morning from Golden Valley W7MS, and you're already fading away, Chuck. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Chuck, W7MS.
Yeah, okay, Mike.
I hear your stories. I heard you made the big purchase yesterday, and when I heard what it was, I was surprised. I really was. But knowing you'll have that thing working. Well, you probably already have it working, but congratulations on that. So, Mike, I've got you in the 2 spots, sir, and I don't know if you've been listening, but we're going to try to start the net early for the summer, like 15 minutes early. Hopefully maybe the conditions will hang around a little longer if we started early. But we can get 4 or 5 guys in by 7:15. We're going to go ahead and start it early for the summer. So anyway, W7MS with NU6F. This is K0DWC. I got you in the 2 spot, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thanks, Chuck. And as I promised somebody from last week, I would assume the carbon mic device. So, but you're doing well, and nice, Ron, and we'll elaborate on the steals and deals from yesterday. But I'm glad it's making the rounds via the vintage radio, vintage military jungle drums. They're great at communicating. But good morning to you, and I'm thinking earlier starts mine. At the time, it's just such a pleasure to get up to bright sunshine, green, and warmth that generally, I think, probably for all of us, winter would be difficult. An earlier start time, but of course also not necessary. So back to you, Chuck, W7MS.
Okay, Mike. W7MS with NU6F and K0DWC. If there's anyone that would like to make early check-ins so we can get the net started, and be number 3 for the vintage military radio net, come now.
Whiskey 6, Mike, Quebec, Guinea, W6MQI.
W6 SSP.
Whiskey 6, Alpha Whiskey Oscar.
Okay, I got Steve, I got you, W6SSP, and I got Richard, W6AWO, but there was one ahead of you guys, and I didn't get it. The transmission was kind of broken up here. The other station that wanted to check in, could you come back, please, with your call sign? Did anybody else pick the other station up?
Again, W6MQI.
Oh, Dave. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, that first transmission, at least here anyway, you broke up pretty good, but I caught you that time. Okay, Dave. Yeah, okay, sir. I got you in the number 3 spot, W6MQI. So we'll go ahead and get the net started. Let me write Dave down here. Okay, well, let me give you the rundown as I have it. First of all, this is a vintage military radio net. I'm Chuck, and we're on 3874 KC, and I'll be your net control this morning. And you all know the spiel on it, everything, how everything goes. So I'll give you the rundown as I have it. In the 1 spot, I've got Ron, NU6F. In the 2 spot, I've got Mike, W7MS. 3 spot is Dave, W6MQI. 4 spot is Steve, W6SSP. And the 5 spot is Richard, W6AWO. And let me give one last call out. Anybody wants to check in for the first round, be number 6. Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So, one more quick rundown. Number 1, NU6F. Number 2, W7MS. Number 3, number 4, W6SSP, and number 5 is W6AWO. So we'll go to that. And my equipment rundown is the ART13, R390A, T32 microphone with the electret module, going into an inverted V, 200 watts. So MU6F in the group, 20DWC. Go ahead and take it, Rob.
Okay, good deal. Well, holy cow, our signal's all over the place and a half, huh? You know, Chuck, you're from blasting in at 20 over to down in the noise, and man, I'm probably doing the same thing. So, but anyhow, good deal. My interference this morning is down super quiet, so I could copy everything all the way down. And running the TDE and the afterburner for 100 watts carrier, and magnetic loop, yard art. And good deal, Chuck. The dependable ART13 and R388. Well, and Mike, yeah, your carbonness punches right through. You know, the RAL hasn't got it. It's still pretty narrow bandwidth for audio, and so it's tough copying the lower frequencies. I got to tune off the side sound, but yeah, the restricted carbon mic audio is much more communicable, and glad to see you finally got the ER magazine. I didn't get mine, but yeah, like I said, I was just talking to Jack about about the story of serial number 1. So good to see it on the cover. Golden Valley's poster child. Better than being on a carton of milk. And Dave, good hearing you in there. Not sure what rig you're on, but we'll find out. And Steve, sounds like you're going to be battling the same QSB as the rest of us. Richard also. So, all right. With that, over to poster child of Golden Valley W7MS.
Well, thank you, Ron. MU6F. The Sunday morning military net W7MS, Mike and Reno. We'll start off by saying good morning, Chuck. Doing well on the ART13, R388, and has been mentioned by myself and Ron, quite a bit of QSB, and I think it's going to be another challenging operating event here on 3974. Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Steve. And I'm not sure if I can hear Richard. We'll see what happens on the more pronounced conversational round here, but I missed him the first time. But and also somebody tuning up on frequency. That may have been Bill out there, but we'll, I'm sure Net Control will catch him at the end of round 1. But this morning running the Canadian Air Force receiver and transmitter. That's the RCA Victor of Canada AR6. The Marconi of Canada AT7. Both are dynamotor powered, and that's driving the Alpha 87A to about 250 watts a carrier. And of course, this is screen modulated, so there may be some interesting nuances on received signal level meters. But with that, we'll keep it rolling because the propagation is rolling up and down. So over to Dave, W6MQI, W7MS.
Right, W7MS, W6MQI. Alright, I think I got my intermittent problem solved here. Bad connection on the microphone. Been a while since I've used this rig. This is the TCK I'm on this morning. And well, grid modulated too, so welcome to the club there, Mike. And your Canadian rigs, I can hear, when you first come up, I hear the dynamo segments turning up anyway, so that's what I figured it was. But, yep, QSB,
It's a, conditions are stellar. I'm hearing everybody, but that's about all I can say. And we're listening on the Collins 75A4 receiver. And I did hear Bill in there as well, on top of Ron, so I'm sure he's there. And it's weather here today is clear. It was warm yesterday. And it's about 70 degrees here already. So that's the lowdown. So over to Steve, W6SSP, W6MQI.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Chuck running the net, Ron, Mike, Dave, and Richard. Small group today, but hey, that's okay. Anyway, this is Steve in sizzling Santa Rosa. We had 92 degrees yesterday, which was kind of pleasant, not too bad. It's only going to be 1 or 2 days of that, so we can deal with it. And running the same equipment, Collins 32 V1 top cover to tickle the ether, and 75A1 receiver into a dipole about 30 feet up, D104 microphone. Anyway, real quickly, I wanted to report the crystal grinding effort really paid off. I now have a crystal that is real close to 3974 KC. So that's going to make putting the Raytheon broadcast transmitter and the helicopter's HT9 on the air much easier. I plan to use VFOs for those, but really want to go all original and use crystals, so I'm all set for that. Anyway, learned a lot in the process. It was a heck of a lot of fun. It didn't really take that much time, so if anybody wants details or drop me an email, I'll fill you in on that. I also wanted to report that the new ham I've been working with here yesterday picked up his first military receiver, which is an RAX-1. He got the low frequency version, so we'll see if we can power that up and get him into tube equipment big time. Crap, the poor guy. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. And Richard, over to you. W6AWO, high on Inverness Ridge. This is W6SSP.
Well, good morning, everyone. This W6SSP, W6AWO, high on top of Inverness Ridge. Using this morning an early solid green receiver that I modified slightly so it'll get into the ham bands. I have no idea how it sounds, so I'm not going to keep it long. And I will say that Dave and Mike are top dogs, and Steve right up there too as far as signals, QFC, but top people on all the others. So I'd appreciate a report on how this radio sounds before I switch on over to the Johnson Viking 2. K0DWC, W6AWO.
Okay, Richard, W6AWO, and I'll call Bill to N6BCT. Bill, I got you in the number 6 spot, so hang tight for just a second. Let me see if there's anybody else that wants to check in real quick before you make the transmission there, and be number 7 for the vintage military radio net. Come now.
W860PE.
Hey, there's Tom. Okay, Tom, I've got you in the number 7 spot, sir. And let's see, Bill is number 6, N6BCT. Does anybody want to be number 8? Check in. Come now. Okay, Bill, go ahead and make the transmission there, Bill, N6BCT, and then hand it down to Tom, WA6OPE, and then I guess Tom just hand it back up to me, K0DWC. So, N6BCT, go ahead and take it. This is K0DWC.
Yeah, it's just I didn't get what you said about who I put it over to. It was W6AWO, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's going pretty good here. Getting all my income tax stuff done next year.
He handed it over to you, Tom. WA60PE. Go ahead.
Well, I think they turned it over to me. This is WA60PE. I don't barely hear you, Chuck. It's about Q3 at the moment. Anyway, good morning to everybody. Let's see, NU6F was about Q3. Mike was Q5. Very good. Plenty of audio. Same thing with MQI, Q5, plenty of audio, strong signal. SFP, Q5. W6AWO is about Q3, Q4, something like that. Very weak. He's not on his usual rig, but I don't know what he's on. N6TCP, I can tell he's there, but I can't understand. So that's the rundown. Oh, sensors about Romeo already said Q3 to Q4. So conditions are not optimal this morning. Let's see, there. Very cool. It's doing a little good too. Anyway, we're on the roll. DCL. Back to Chuck.
WA7YBS.
Hey, Henry. I got you in the number 8 spot there, bud. WA7YBS. Go ahead and make the transmission, Henry, and send it back up to me, K0DWC. So, Henry, go ahead and take it.
Okay. Let me do a little bit of tweaking and peeking. It looks like everything is pretty close, just as is. And, okay, we're all set. Well, good morning to those that I've heard, which is Bill, Q4 for Bill, and Tom. Good signal in here from Tom, probably about equivalent of maybe a S8 or so, Q5 all the way, and of course your strong Chuck. So anyway, it's a good idea if maybe we look and make sure we're not over-modulating. Looks like we're hitting it pretty hard. Okay, anyway, we're on the 323, running 110 watts of carrier power and frequency 17. Back to Chuck, K0DWC, WA7YBS.
Okay, Henry. WA7YBS, K0DWC. Alrighty. Let's see if there's anybody out there that wants to check in the tail end of the first round. It'll be number 9. I'd like to check in. Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So I was telling Mike and Ron earlier that Henry and I were talking yesterday about for the summer backing up the net to about 7:15 to start, just for the summer, so we can get in as much as we can within an hour or hour and 15 minutes because of the propagation, summertime propagation. So, you know, if we can get at least 4 people or so by 7:15 or so, and that's, you know, of course, that's playing everything by ear. We're going to go ahead and start the net around that time, around 7:15. And, you know, Henry brought up a good point. He said, you know, if we do that, we might be through the first round by 7:30 or so, which that's probably right. So, anyway, for those that can't hear, you guys that can hear some of the ones that, you know, maybe are not hearing me, maybe you can relay that to them because the conditions are already pretty bad. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that just for the summer, and then we'll go back to like 7:30, you know, in the fall when it gets better. So, anyway, let me just give you a quick rundown as to what the rundown is here. In the number 1 spot is NU6F Ron. In the 2 spot is W7MS Mike. In the 3 spot is W6MQI Dave. In the 4 spot is W6SSP Steve. In the 5 spot is W6AWO Richard. And of course Bill is number 6, A6BCT. Tom in Richmond is number 7, WA6OPE. And then Henry, WA7YBS. So that's the rundown. And we got a lot of different rigs on this morning as usual. You guys never cease to amaze me, I'll tell you. Well, we got dynamotors running and motor generators and all kinds of cool stuff. TDEs and TCKs and AR6s and, oh man, TCM. Wow, great job. All right, one more call out and then we'll go back, we'll go ahead and do the second round. If you'd like to be number 9 for the Vintage Military Radio Net, come now.
36CXY. 6 Victor X-Ray Yankee.
All right, Vern, I got you. K6VXY in the number 9 spot. Okay, anybody else want to check in for the tail end of the first round? Be number 10. Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So, Vern, go ahead and make a transmission and hand it back up to me, Chuck, K0DWC. So, K6VXY, K0DWC. Go ahead, Vern.
Great. I'm glad I got in. I thought I was getting in early, and here I am late again, but I was up making coffee. This is K6VXY Vern in Groveland, California. And I'm running my dipole antenna, and my elevation helps here. I'm up about 2,800 feet, running 30 watts today. I think by next week I'll be running full power, but you made some announcement about the summer because the conditions do sound a little worse. Maybe you're starting earlier or something like that. But I have a question, and I'm glad I got in when I did, and it's a general question. I really want to go to that Minden event that's on June 3rd, and I got my California map out, and I looked at all the routes. And since we got all you experts on here, my question is a general one. Best route to get to Minden. It looks like ideally I'm going to want to take a Highway 395 in, picking it up in the different spots in California and driving up to Minden instead of going Highway 50 and 99, which is nicer highways, I'm sure. I've been on them, but they're much further distance. It's about 150 miles, it looks like, doing it the way I want. But the routes are I could go through Yosemite and pick up Highway 395 after going through Tioga Pass. That's Route 120. I could also take Highway 49 up through Sonora and to Jackson and take 120 over the pass to pick up Highway 395. And then the other one, this one may be the best one. I go a little further north. I go up to Jackson on Highway 49, and then I take Highway 88 over and pick up Highway 395. So that's just a general question. And I'm still running the ICOM and got my trusty heat kit here. I'll get that going next week. And anyhow, I heard a few of the people there check it in, but I just got here a little late. Thanks, Chuck. K0DWC, this is K6VXY. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, K6VXY. I'll tell you what, your audio, you're piercing through everything. Man, you're coming through here just as clear as a bell. That's unbelievable. Because I've got QSB on just about everybody, but I didn't get anything on you. You're piercing through it pretty good. There, with I think you said you were running your ICOM, but yeah, great job. I'll let some of these other guys that travel to California explain probably the best way for you to get to Minden, because I'm not too familiar with all the California highways. And all the ways it takes to get down to Minden, but you know, I'm sure one of these guys here, a couple of these guys will guide you in the proper direction there. So anyway, let's see if there's anybody else that wants to check in here, tail into the first round. Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So with that, we'll go ahead and we will start back up at the top to number 1, to Ron, NU6F in the group K0DWC. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me try something here. Okay, well, a little more power. We'll see if that helps any. But yeah, you're right, Chuck. Holy cow, Vern, when you came on, yeah, that whole transmission, the audio was really punches through, but I don't know. Don't change anything in the antenna. Maybe the squirrels bit off a couple of feet and pruned it to make it just perfect. But yeah, it sounds great. And let's see, what else? Yeah, as far as, your trip over, well, you got 3 beautiful ways to go over, Tioga, Sonora, or Carson Pass, but I'm guessing, I don't know, it's 6 of one, half dozen another. You know, June, there's probably not that much traffic through Yosemite that early, so that will be the only hang-up, you know, going up, getting up to Tuolumne Meadows through the valley, but that early, I don't know. Sonora, less traffic. Well, 6 of one, half dozen another. They're all good. And Mike, talk about what? Screen grid modulation. I'm suppressor grid modulated. I don't know if the TCK. I don't know that Dave is the TCK suppressor grid or screen grid or control grid modulated. And of course Tom, OPE, with another suppressor grid modulated radio. So yeah, we got a lot of modulating grids on this morning. Well, okay, I won't hold it because conditions all over the place, signals up and down, but boy, when they're up, they're really good. Okay, over to the AT7 dynamotor with ARR6 W7MS NU6F.
Well, thank you, Ron, NU6F, and the Sunday morning military net W7MS, Mike and Reno. And good morning to Bill. He's Q0, unfortunately due to conditions and other issues. But good morning, Tom. Thanks for the great signal report, but I'm sure it's probably 180 degrees differential compared to your original version of my signal strength. But good morning, Tom, and nice to hear you. And good morning, Vern. I would certainly validate everybody's signal report. Nice to hear you. And I vote for 88. There's no reason to beat it to death, but as a individual who traveled quite frequently to Pine Mountain, Lake Groveland, 88 was probably the primary choice during the spring and summer months when there were not going to be any snow issues or road closure issues. So 88's my vote. And comments, screen, grid, control, grid modulation rules, I guess, for better or worse. We're in the majority today here, at least maybe 50-50 split. But let me see further comments. Yeah, Dave, what you're hearing now is I'm running a switch mode power supply, and there's that initial high current shutdown when I go key down, so there's that whoop, and then the dynamotors pick back up. So it's the way it is, but it's quite convenient. It goes to show that even a 20 amp switcher, based on the current draw and startup, just isn't sufficient, even for a relatively, a transmitter receiver combination. It certainly rules QRP. But let me see. Great on Steve's comments on crystal grinding. We exchanged an email or two on that issue, so good on that. And his Rax 1 project, fantastico. Yeah, swap meet report, and I'll keep it relatively short because conditions are not so great. But and also good morning to Henry. I think I may have admitted him from the good morning salutations, but the find for me was the take home yesterday. Aside from parts, right, Ron, parts are good, compact, and even if it's a box of junk, as I did yesterday, first stop was the trash can, the waste management device, so I could call out the junk from, or at least my version of junk from the keeper stuff in the parts department. That's the freebie stuff, the freebie boxes. Take it all or none. That was the restoration project, the HRO 5 TA1, which already had a great start from the previous owner. He's a recent arrival in northern Nevada from the Paradise area, and he did a great job of documentation. It's basically a restoration project in kit form. He's bought all the pieces, wire, cloth-covered widgets. He already did the paint restoration on the speaker and did a very good job. Same thing for the coils and the coil box. So it's going to be a piece of cake. And I think most of the hard work's been done and the money's been spent. So it was a great find. And when I was poking around and he gave me his price, I said sure. So I handed him the money and said I'll be back sometime in the future to load it up. So that would be a lot of fun. So I finally obtained an HRO 5 variation that I have passed up for the last 30 or 40 years, but I guess that yesterday was the day, and I also appreciate Henry took a look at it and gave it his nod of approval and did the usual production run serial number inspection there. So it's production run 184, serial number 0345, HRO 5TA1 to be official. So now that I've timed out 75 meters, over to you, Dave. W6MQI, W7MS.
W7MS, W6MQI. Alrighty, Mike. Yeah, when the QSB is up, you're sounding really good. Nice sounding rig there. And let's see who came on. Good morning to Tom, Henry, Vern, and is that it? I think so. Yeah, Vern, take 188. That's what I take. Ebbets Pass, 108 and 120 with our snow load this year. I'd be real surprised if they were going to be open. But take 88 on the 95 and head north to Minden. That's the way to go. Let's see. I kind of talked a little bit with Henry on this. I had a line on a Wells Gardner RARC. I don't know what model number it was, but tried to work a deal with a guy down in what's that place with that garlic's at? Gilroy. And it was hardly worth the price and fuel to get down there, so I offered him $25 and he called me a cheap bastard, and I called him a bastard, and that was the end of that. So that would have been kind of neat. It was pretty hammered. The dial, the plastic was completely gone. It was all, disintegrated, and a lot of the paint went away. Everything went a hell of a restoration project. So anyway, that one fell through. And I got another line on a T368, but that's a 12-hour round-trip drive to get to that, and I can't have a TCK here and a T3. I just don't have the room. So in order to get the T3, I got to get on a TCK, and which I'm willing to do, I guess. So I don't know if anybody's interested in a beautiful TCK setup, could work a deal. Comes with an antenna tuner that's been fit back together. That big giant one that sits on top. It actually works. I hooked some resistors on the output and put an antenna analyzer through it, so it does work. The only thing I don't know about is the current meters, whether or not they work or not. I'm assuming they do. But so that's where I'm at. No real other projects here. I've been working so much. But anyway, guess that's it. Let's see, what was I going to say? Richard, yeah, I don't know what, it sounded like you said you were on some sort of a modified solid state rig, but boy, you were weak here. I was barely copying you. So, your Viking is doing a lot. Your Viking transmitter definitely does a better job, so. Over to Steve, W6SST, W6MQI.
Okay, Dave, thank you. And we'll say good morning to Bill, Tom, Henry, and Vern. Good to have you guys on. Conditions are pretty poor today. Stations in the San Francisco Bay Area are pretty good. And Dave, too. Dave, you're doing quite well for being up in Reno. Everybody else is kind of at the noise level right now with marginal copy. But hey, summertime conditions, and that's how it goes. Chuck, boy, I'll tell you, you sure nailed it. One of the cool things about this net is the variety of equipment. Dynamotors and motor generators and tubes generating all kinds of heat. Cool stuff. This is really not just the military net, but the museum radio net, in my opinion. Pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, hey, Dave, on the RAO, no great loss. I had one of those a while ago. I thought it was Foothill, many years ago, and discovered it had, the gears were made, on the one that I had anyway, gears were made out of pot metal, and then just, one of the gears just disintegrated, and ended up selling up the parts. So, that one was in bad shape, that's okay. That's the way it goes. You'll come across another one someday. And let's see, Richard, I couldn't tell the difference between the Wolverine and your Viking. So, good quality audio, good carrier, everything else. I did not catch the model number of the rig you were on. There was a fade right at that moment, so maybe you can tell me what's wrong. Anyway, it's been a busy week here, besides grinding crystals and relearning that process again, which was a heck of a lot of fun. Also completed the LRR6 receiver project, the SX110 receiver, which for those that went to the same stuff, that is the net bucket, that nobody even looked at. And like most receivers that are in conditions on the outside, internally it was beautiful, and with very little work, it came back to full specs. And I actually listened to the 20-minute bet on it yesterday. Currently have the Helicopters SX, let's see, 221? Yeah, I think it's 221. 122, I forget. Anyway, I have that on the bench now. Got that figured out yesterday. We'll probably run it today, and next up will be the XFI Cable, which is also a rust bucket on the outside, so it's a great work. Having a really good time. Enjoying the weather, too. Richard, we'll send it over to you. W6 over the world, W6 SSP.
Well, thank you, Steve, and good to be with the esteemed group. Thanks for Mike 600. It came from a friend, Salvador, out of the East Coast. Radio frequencies, and for some reason caught my eye the other day. very good. Believe it or not, at least at this location, conditions are getting a little better. Still QSB, but the Nevada stations, Mike is actually top dog from Nevada. Believe it or not, but not today. And we're on still 2-3. Let's see, Dave is top dog on the frequency for sure. Reports, continuing, good copy on the California station, reporting back on the for 35 watts or whatever, you're doing pretty well. And I wonder if you have a reservation in Memphis. I mentioned the first weekend in June are a little tough to come by. And I advise try to get a reservation at least a month in advance, and especially if you want to stay at CVI. Boy, that place is knocking them in. Let's see here, what else? Crystal grinding, yeah, very good. Congratulations, Steve. We got those sucker moved all the way up to 3974 with the broadcast transmitter on the air. And we got a broadcast transmitter sitting there for years and years and years. 160 meters, which here is unusual. Due to noise, you can't hear anything going beyond the away. And we're going to have a broadband stuff. It's not good. So let's see here. Anything else? Richard, went to you? Yes, no copy on the other list. So you were there, got a word once in a while, I was on it, but today is not today for week signal. And we will keep it moving. Mr. Henry, WA7 YBS, WA6 OPE. Okay, Tom, WA6 OPE, WA7 YBS. All right, well, 100% copy on everybody. Bill is a little, I guess I had to make an exception for Bill. He's about 90% copy. Cube 4.5, Bill. Most of it, but not 100%. Everyone else is coming in here quite well. No problems. I think in addition to the Ray Cal receiver, which is an exceptional receiver, the RA-17 Mark III, it's RA-17L Mark III. That's nomenclature, right? And, using the collinear array as an antenna, 2 halfways and fulls, it really helps. Theoretically, that would give you almost 2 dB a gain in receive and in transmit. But, I don't think I'm probably getting half a dB, if that. But it really does help on receive. You can hear almost everything. Yeah, I did the inspection there on that HRO5 TA1 that Mike got. It's a nice one. And that, 345 serial number, the highest serial number is just a little over 1,000, 1054. 1054 is the highest serial number. So you're in the first third of production, which is good. And they're, as I was saying, of the black box HROs, the 5TA1 is the best performer. It's a nice one. And all the hard work's done. Painting and all of that junk. But, you probably noticed when you looked underneath that has like plastic nylon or something, insulated wire. That's original for the HRO5s, is to have that wire. So I don't know what the guy was going to do with the cloth-covered wire, but maybe he was going to use it somewhere else. But anyway, those guys, the 5TA1s for the plastic insulated wire is original. And but yeah, that was the best buy of the swap meet. 22 sellers. I saw
an RME 45 sitting there. I don't know if it was for sale or not. It was kind of back on this guy's pickup, but I can't imagine anybody'd buy one of those, but you never know. But anyway, the guy also had National's ugliest creation, the SW54, and I mean, that receiver is so ugly. It it even puts the NC400 in a good light. But anyway, it would win an award for the smallest National receiver also. What else did I see there? There was a lot of parts, a lot of boxes to look through for stuff. I came home with a $5 pair of wire strippers. So kind of little fancy mechanical gadget that I hadn't seen one of those in probably 30 years. And but anyway, it was $5. I thought, yeah, I got to have one of those. And I sold $45. Yeah, $45 worth of All-American 5 broadcast sets at $5 each. And I still got the question at $5 each, do they work? Incredible. I couldn't believe it. Also, I had an NC183D part set for $20. Nobody interested. Had all the knobs on it. What can I say? No interest whatsoever. Hamberlin HQ129X, highly modified, but all there. $20. No takers. I don't know. At least Lucky Larry was there, and Lucky Larry took away my BC342s, 2 of them for $10. So, there was some military stuff there, and I had it. As far as buyers, it looked to me like weight was the determining factor. If it weighed over 10 pounds, it was a hard sell. And so anyway, I think Mike got as far as, that's just my opinion, that would be Mike got the best thing that was there. The good meat, we left at about 9:20 or so. Stand by. Okay, I'm back. So that's the swap meet report. Vern, as somebody who has driven that many times, Highway 88 is the way to go. Highway 88 ends at Minden. The junction with Highway 395 is at Minden. In fact, you're about a block from the Carson Valley Inn, where Highway 88, the intersection of Highway 88 and Highway 395, it is right in Minden. So it's the way to go. Get to go through Hope Valley, over Carson Pass, all that good stuff. It's very easy. Driven it many times. And so the bonus for Highway 88 from this QTH. Dave, those RAOs, that plastic is celluloid acetate, and those things, people didn't know this, of course, you can't put water on those. When you cleaned them, you had to clean that celluloid acetate with oil. And so you put water on them, and they just go crazy. They just melt. And so naturally the radio sat out in the garage or someplace like that, picked up a lot of moisture, and those celluloid acetate dial covers they go crazy and turn brown and warp and get like that one looked. At most, that REO should have been less than $50 at most. That needed a lot of work, and that's just what you can see on the front panel. So they're a great receiver. I have a soft spot for them. Maybe it's between the ears, but I still think that the REO is a great receiver, and a little on the heavy side, but hey, what can you do? So anyway, that's it from here. Over to Vern. Mr. Going to be driving Highway 88, K6VXY, WA7YBS.
Okay, just a little pause there on purpose in case someone wanted to break in. I'll make it quick. Yeah, thanks a lot. Highway 88. There is one highway I forgot to mention. I dozed over there too. Because basically I'll get on Highway 49, head north, and then pick up 88. The reason reason I sort of favor 88, when you look on any, well, I've looked on a few maps, the darker and whiter red the highway shows, you figure it's better road. Like, we go to Stockton a lot, and we take Highway 4 there. Highway 4 goes very, if you're up going toward Angels Camp, it's super good. Then it goes to a different county, it gets worse, and it goes to San Joaquin, which is kind of a split. But the Calaveras County or Tuolumne County that we're near here is pretty good. We have been up to Angels Camp, and that's pretty nice. Part of it, and they're doing a lot of road work. But yeah, I can see where you'd say, and all of you, thank you for your tip on Highway 88. But Highway 4 as an option looks pretty good. But on the map, Highway 88 is just a darker red. The Highway 108 is sort of in between, but you go up to, I've been up to Jackson and Pine Grove and that area, I've seen that, and the road itself looks pretty straight. And, as being in the mountains here, the road can change. You know what surprised me the other day? I just took a trip toward Yosemite. I haven't done that. And the roads were open, but if you leave Groveland itself, just on the other side of Groveland, it's like they chopped down all of the oak trees, put in nothing but pine trees, and made the road go up about 200 to 400% in quality. I went all the way, I didn't go all the way to Yosemite, but I drove up to some little Fairmont Rangers camp or something there, but that road there was unbelievably nice. But yeah, and I'm thinking too, the night before, it starts at 7, and if you're there later than 7:30, you might as well forget it. I've been to some of these. Well, it's not that bad, but it's something you really would want. And I'm open to everything, radio equipment, and also parts like coax switches, different connectors, adapters, and anything with the radio. So thanks, you guys, for all your help. And Highway 88 is the darkest red, and Highway 49, I've been on most of that. That's pretty good, but I was thinking, initially going up 99 to Highway 50, but that's like way over 200 miles. You're just going out of your road for a lot better road, but it's just way out of the way, and just shooting through the mountains is great. And the thing about Tioga Pass that kind of scared me a little, it might be okay. I've been up there, but I was much younger. It's at 9,000 feet at the peak, and the higher in altitude, the air gets thinner, and not driving a car is going to wear you out, but you get tired. I noticed driving, went out to Paradise a few times, looking around for a house again, and just driving a long distance is kind of tiring. If you turn 80, I think, I'm still healthy, but the endurance isn't there. Thanks, you guys, for all your help. So, any comments on Highway 4? But I'm thinking 88 is pretty direct. Thanks a lot. And back to net control. And you said something for the summer months you were going to do something there, Chuck. Is that the net time or something? But thanks all you guys for all your help. Mike, everybody is. K0DWC and the group K6BXY.
Okay, Vern, K6VXY, K0DWC. Henry and I were discussing it yesterday, and he brought up a good idea, and that was to maybe start the net about 7:15 just for the summer months, in the hope that, the propagation will kind of work in our favor a little bit, and, we won't run late on the other end, because of the bad conditions. So we kind of just made the decision we're going to start checking people in at about 7:15, and if we have like 3 or 4 guys, we're going to go ahead and start the net. So anyway, I was on earlier this morning talking with Ron, and then Mike popped in too, and it was before 7:15, but it just shows you that we had a few guys on before then. So with the propagation the way it is, it's probably in the best interest of the net to maybe start it 15 minutes early, because like Henry said, we could probably have the first round over with by 7:30, 7:35, somewhere in that area. So I think it's a good idea all the way around. So anyway, next week, Henry will be net control next week, but it'll be right around 7:15. So just wanted to give a shout out for that. Steve, great job on the crystal grinding. Congratulations on that. I can tell by the way you were talking about it, you're tickled to death with it. It sounded like you really had a lot of fun. And Tom, OTE Tom, your signal picked up quite a bit here on your last transmission. Just almost like it is in the wintertime, It was really rare. Maybe you could, next, on the 73 round, maybe you could just give us a quick report on how you're doing with your antenna project. And Bill, N6BCT, I was in the radio room here working the other day, and I heard you check into the noontime net on 40 meters. I mean, you sounded different on single sideband, that's for sure, but I copied you, and you were you could be understood. So, and you were louder than some of the guys that were checking in. So that was a pleasant surprise to hear you check into that. So anyway, okay, guys, let's do the 7-3 round this time, and we're doing pretty good time-wise. It's only about 10 after 8, so conditions have improved in some spots, and in others it's marginal. So anyway, 7-3 rounds. We'll send it up to the top. NU6F K0DWC. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, good deal. Well, speaking of RAO, that's what I'm on now. Just listening on it, I forgot all about it until Dave mentioned it. I says, why should I fight this? Weaker conditions now. So yeah, I switched over to the RAO 7 receive, and everyone's a little bit easier to pick out. Of course, I got an IF. I got some selectivity, so that helps. Well, good deal all the way around, Mike. Then again, great deal on the HRO, and the fact that you had Henry there to verify everything's authenticity, and that's interesting about the plastic wire being used instead of the cloth. So who knew? And Dave, okay on. Let's see. I wonder what your you said your possible T3 and the RAO. So there's stuff out there, but do you want to make the road trip? Steve, okay on the crystal grinding, and I was curious on when you were using the wet dry sandpaper. It's always scary not knowing if I'm going to go too far or not, and so I wonder how often you were grinding and then quick clean it off, put it back in the holder, and then also sometimes notice that depending on how well you clean it off, the frequency kind of moves. So anyhow, and okay on the rust bucket radios, and ugly on the outside, but still working on the inside. Good deal. And Richard, actually, I heard you on that mobile marine rig, a couple of about one sentence out of that, and I could enough where I could pick out the audio, and it sounded fine. So, like you say, just not quite enough watts. And Tom, good deal on all. We're looking forward to seeing you at the swap, and see if you manage to sell some of your priceless collection, or if you add to it. But I don't think you're adding to it very much anymore. And Henry, okay on your All-American 5 radios sold. Yeah, that's a pretty good bunch of them. Larry's got quite a collection now also, so yeah, these collections just move from place to place. And Vern, I guess you got the deal. I guess 88 sounds like it's the consensus opinion. They're all beautiful roads, but you know, I haven't driven there. I used to take those off and on back in the 80s and 90s. When I was in San Jose, I'd drive over all three of the passes there to go ahead and take off on backpack trips on the John Muir Trail, different sections. But when you're young, it's all the same. All right, with that, guys, I'll pass it over to Golden Valley W7MS, and you success.
Well, thank you, Ron, with a little delay here while I was waiting for my current limited switch mode power supply to do its thing. Appreciate Dave's comments. Everybody else, nobody's ever commented on that, but I knew it had to be an interesting whoop factor when I went key down. So W7MS Mike Areno. Find Chuck on all the specifics. Vern is dialed in. I think Tom did raise the question on overnight accommodations, but maybe he's just going to do a day trip up and down. But looking forward to meeting Vern for the first time at Mr. Hollander's super dynamic swap meet and social organization there. We'll have a good time. Chuckling at Henry's comments, we had mentioned that yesterday about the successful completion of transactions versus weight ratio, but that's certainly the case. Appreciate the comments on the HRO. Yeah, that was a good purchase in both parameters, price and what it is, and what it was and what it will be. And great on Richard. Yeah, on the until you made the rig change, you were virtually indistinguishable here, but doing well with the old Viking. The old Viking's doing quite well, and actually Bill came up. I'm glad to know that the frequency monitor squad is listening to the noontime net. It's an interesting traffic net without any traffic, but it gives you a chance to at least determine propagation at any point in time. And find Dave on that big Navy receiver. I have seen it when I open up my Craigslist search parameters for out of town. It shows up, so I was kind of surprised to see that it was in Gilroy, and now we hear the rest of the story as far as condition, price, and acceptability. So maybe that receiver could end up at Henry's here in a couple of weeks, his swap booth, and of course there's that wait to successful transaction completion problem. Even if it was priced at $5, it might still be taken home or possibly dropped off at any available dumpster. But with that, I'll say 7-3s. Good morning to all. Some challenging conditions, but we're all tough here on 3974, aren't we? So 7-3s from Reno. Over to you, Dave. W6MQI, and looking forward to hearing that T368 W7MS.
W7MS, W6MQI. Well, it's a nice dream anyway to have a T368, but like I said, I don't have the room for everything. Something's got to go. But it'd be kind of cool anyway. Well, Vern, good luck trying to find a place to stay up there in Minden. I'm not going out. I had work obligations, then my work obligations got canceled, so I'm actually open that weekend, but everything is booked up, at least in Minden, and the very high prices, $200 some odd a night or something like that. I'm not doing that. Even with the military discounts, it's too much. So you got to go up to Carson City, some of the divey places up there. But I decided, I'm just going to stay home. I don't need to bring anything home. Got enough crap around here. So would have been nice to go up there and talk to people eyeball to eyeball, but it's not going to work out this year. So let's see. Also 73. This is fading rapidly. Yeah, make sure you get some down on there now. On the right. That's good. So I'll go inside and grab the Congratulations getting that crystal going. You got more patience than I do. Over to Steve.
Okay, Dave, thanks very much. Well, your top dog by a mile. Conditions have really taken a elsewhere, so I'm not sure who's hearing me and who's not. Tell me real quick. Rod, to answer your question about going a little too far on the crystals when grinding, I figured out that's actually a good thing to do. And the way I figured that out, Tom and Richard will appreciate this, is back when we were rating the PW15s at the power outlet site, I ended up with a bunch of crystals that were used in the PW15s, and each one had a 5 to 25 puff ceramic trimmer capacity across it. And realized that was for bringing the crystals to exactly the right frequency. And they were all a little bit high. So, sure enough, when I was running crystals, I screwed around with that a little bit, and you know what, that worked very, very well. So, the crystal I've got now for 3974 is actually 3974.6 kc, and I will put a trimmer across it to bring it right on frequency. So, going high is actually a good thing when grinding crystals. A little high, that is. Well, that answers your question, Ron. And like I said, I learned a lot by doing this. And using wet and dry sandpaper is a whole lot easier and faster than the old method of using comic cleaner and stuff like that on a glass plate. So it only took me about a half hour to pull that crystal up over 5 kc. So that'll give you an idea of what that was. And I think I could have done it a lot higher than that if I wanted to. Yeah. And let's see what else was it coming. Richard's very good on the ICOM M600. I'm sort of familiar with those. I've got the next one out, the M700 here. We had a number of problems which I was able to fix. I don't have a 12-volt power supply deep enough to handle it, so I haven't really tried much on the air, just simply on the road. And those marine transceivers are very, very interesting. Some hands like them, most hands don't even know anything about them. I've got an oddball here that's called a Fancy. It's made in Scandinavian countries, maybe Denmark. And this thing is built like the Virgil Swift shiphouse. You could run a tank over that. I don't think it's a massive thing. And I think it puts out 200 feet of wall. We had fairly simple problems to fix. But again, I can easily fix it fully. Deal rack up decent power supply. So, anyway, guys, signals are staying quite a bit. I want to make one more comment. This morning is the West Valley College swap meet down in Silicon Valley, and my good buddy Jeff, WD670H, was there at 6 o'clock when it opened. I'm sure he's on his way home by now. And that was a really good swap. I went there last weekend. Dave was there, and W621 was there, and a few others. And some ham radio stuff shows up there, and some really oddball stuff shows up. So, for those that are in the area, that's a really good one to go to. It's every month through the summer. Just Google West Valley College swap meet, and you'll find out about that. Kind of a long drive for me here. It's 2.5 hours each way. So
don't know if I'll get to go to any more of those, but we shall see. Over Richard, K73 everybody, W6KWO, W6SSD. Thank you, Steve. Well, W6SSD, W6AWO, the radio jobs are all over the place. You were pinning the meter, Steve, and then never did lose you, but the signal then down in the mud and then back up. So 73 to all. No standard breakfast for me this morning. Over to the mother-in-law from Mom's Day. Looking forward to that. Wonderful to hear everyone, and we'll stick with the Grapple Viking 2 for the AM net, and maybe the M600 for some kind of single sideband thing. Definitely not what most hams would want, channelized and all the rest of it, but on the other hand, it would fit. 73 to all. It's been great. Really enjoyed it. See you next week. And Bill, there you go. N6BCC, W6AWO. Okay, WA6OPE, WA7YBS. Okay. Well, we will see some of you at Brad's in 7RCA swap meet in Ben Minden, and we'll be there, and I will chance it, and I will bring some heavy stuff. I will bring some boat anchors, and they will be priced accordingly. I still couldn't believe that NC183D for $20 didn't sell. Of course, it was missing the power transformer. Maybe that was why, but who knows. Anyway, 73 all around. Everybody have a good week coming up, and with that, over to Vern, K6VXY, WA7YBS.
Okay, thanks, Henry, and thanks to everybody for your input. Yeah, I'm going to start right away working on reservations. I was checking the mileage out. If I did no, I'm not going to do a day trip. I'd have to get up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning to get there for the stop meet when it starts, actually maybe 2. So I'm going to want to stay overnight somewhere and then get up early there, which would probably be around 6 or 5:30 to get to the meet when it starts. So I found the website there and everything about the swap, so I'll do more with that. But I was thinking, I don't know if there's much going on in Gardnerville, if that's the place you could stay, but it looks kind of small. to look that far, probably about 30 miles south of Carson City, which is not bad at all. Could be as much as 40. And I guess that's where I should look for reservations. I can do that online and then get some spots to call them and give them my card number. And it worked pretty easy going north, but not trying to get into Nevada. So I will start on that probably this afternoon. And it'd be nice to see some of you guys too. Like Chuck, I guess, will be there, and Mike, and all these famous radio personalities. It's sort of like the old days of AM radio. And when I was in high school, the disc jockeys on the local radio stations, KGO went to playing rock and roll, and then there was Radio Kobe and all these other ones. But it was a big deal, seeing this. No one looks like they sound on the radio, though. That was always a kick. I got the biggest kick out of that. But boy, I think I have a more of an AM type voice. It's kind of deeper, or maybe I'm just tired in the morning, but I don't think I line up too well. One guy said I sound a lot like somebody, not Edward, but I don't know. It might help my signal, who knows. But it'd be a joy to see you guys. And I think getting up there the night before, even at Carson City or somewhere near that, like the Best Western, there's a lot of good places to have a breakfast, although they usually don't start till 6 or 7 in the morning. Helps too. I don't use it that much, but that's not normal for a receiver to have noise reduction on the AM. It is on sideband, but that helps now and then. A couple of guys just got weak here and there, like Tom, and then SST probably is not the best direction in this time of morning, so I better be quiet here. I just talk everybody off the air. So back to Nat. Thanks for all your help. K0 DWC in the group. This is 750. K0 DWC. And the group is 360
Okay, Brian. Hey, just so you know, Gardnerville and Minden run into one another. They're right beside each other. They're kind of hooked to the hip. But if you come in on 88 there into Minden, if you want to go to Carson City, it's only like 10 miles from Minden. It's a straight shot on 395, and it doesn't take long. Carla, she goes to Minden every day to go to work, and she has to go to Carson City, and it only takes her, it doesn't take her very long at all to get there. So, I mean, we're 20 miles east of Carson City, and Minden's another 10 miles south. So you're only talking 10 miles from Carson to Minden.
Oh, very good. 10 miles, that's easy. Well, that's good. It gives me a lot of options, too. I'll stay away